Now, who shall I speak with first? Everyone's so split up, I don't think it matters one way or the other. Who shall I invite? Oh, we gotta start with our boy, of course. I think I'll see Holmes. I wouldn't have expected to find Holmes here. Is he looking at bugs with that magnifying lens? Perhaps I should... Oh, if it's Holmes, don't interrupt him. Absolutely not. He's so focused that it just wouldn't be right to disturb him. I thought it better to stand back and watch him instead. He must have noticed my standing there at some point, because to my surprise, he chose to start a conversation of his own volition.
Have you some business, Miss Whiteley?
I do, as it so happens. It's not often we have the whole class together outside like this. Would you like to help me get everyone... Oh my goodness, I totally messed that up. Would you like to help get everything ready and join us? Help me help you!
Oh, I hadn't realized it was so late already.
He stood up without so much as a single complaint. Are you finished observing the insects?
I am. The last thing I need is you staring at me any longer.
I wasn't going to keep at it forever!
Let's be going.
Called me out on staring. With no more to be said, he began walking to the gathering spot. Holmes, okay! Well then, it's time I go invite someone else. I then set off to see who else was hungry. Obviously Watson. Actually, next time I do that, I should save and see what happens when I try to click Holmes again. I'm so curious. I've been curious what happens if you pick an option you've already picked. Okay, so I have to get everybody to the picnic spot for Mr. Mackenzie's sake. So I gotta pick the right stuff for people, hopefully. Holmes and Watson are so often together. I wonder where Holmes's other half's gotten to. His other half. Oh no. As I continued to survey the area, I heard a rustling from above my head. I glanced upwards, expecting nothing in particular, and saw Barbara in a tree. Except there was most certainly a particular something to be found. Watson was propped against the tree, looking far out into the distance. What could he be doing up there? What if we watch what Watson's doing? I think climbing the tree is probably the good thing to do, but I'm not on his route, so bleh. But I hope it shouldn't be too difficult to convince Watson to come and have lunch with us. I decided to watch and see what he was doing. What could he be up to all the way up there? As he was admiring the day, a tiny bird landed atop his head. Okay, he's just doing Disney princess stuff, as normal. Then another, then another. Before long, his shoulders and head were covered in the darlings. Animals really were charmed by him, weren't they?
Do you want some more? Here.
He had a little something in his hands to feed them with, and they tweeted sweet nothings and thank yous as they partook.
No, there's plenty for all. No sense in getting greedy.
They just love you, Watson. Look at them all.
Huh? Emily?
Much to my dismay, him noticing me was enough to cause them all to flutter away. Oh no, I'm sorry. I hadn't meant to scare them off.
It's alright. Down I come.
Watson then jumped out of the tree and landed deftly on his feet.
Nothing's wrong, is there?
Not at all. I was thinking that if we're all here for a picnic, it would be lovely if we could eat together.
You came all the way here to invite me? Thanks.
My timing appeared to be rather apt, too. Right then, Watson's stomach let out a rather uproarious growl.
Ugh. The thought of food alone is making me hungry.
And no good comes from ignoring your stomach. Okay. I must gather everyone else, too. Would you mind going ahead and waiting for me there?
Not at all. See you in a bit, then.
We parted ways, and I went on to look for the next person to invite. Okay, I'm gonna save here. Pick Holmes again. Just out of curiosity. Alright. He's just here again? It's weird time travel stuff. That's really funny. Okay. Good to know. You can just keep doing the same stuff over and over. Miss Marple. We come here together, and now look at her. She's run off and started drinking tea on her own. True to Marple's preparedness, she had made herself plenty comfortable on the grass and was idly sipping from her cup. I think I'll call out to her? I was about to call out to her, but a thought occurred to me. If I simply ask her to join us, she might well say no. I know! I have the perfect way to go about this. Marple, do you have a moment?
Hello, Emily. I do, but please make it brief.
We came all this way to have a picnic, so why not come and eat with everyone?
My apologies, but I'll pass for the moment. I'd like to finish this book today. I'm rather anxious to find out what happens next, you see.
I thought she'd say that, and here's where I go in for the attack. That's a right shame. I think you would like the food we have on display. It looks absolutely divine. There's even some of your very favorite maids of honor, if I remember rightly.
Oh? Is there now?
It's working. One more push. Yes, yes. We also have some tea imported just yesterday from India that I'd love for you to try. First flush, you know. Marple closed her book with an impressive clap and stood.
Let us be off at once, Emily. I must sample this tea before it loses its fragrance.
Okay. I must gather everyone else too. Would you mind going ahead and waiting for me there?
All right. Good luck then. I'll be waiting.
We parted ways, and I went on to look for the next person to invite. So, someone else? Lupin. Oh, Lupin. I can't help but wonder if he's really asleep. Curious as could be, I strolled over to where he was sitting to inspect the scene. Upon taking a closer look, he certainly appeared as though he were fast asleep. His eyes were closed, his breathing was light, and he was quite comfortably leaning against the tree. There was also a book next to him. He likely fell asleep whilst reading it. What if I were to... Oh, he'd hate this as in his current form. As I approached, Lupin hadn't even twitched. He was certainly in a deep sleep, and utterly defenseless. The mischievous little devil in me couldn't resist rearing its head before a face so angelic. He won't be too mad if I play a little prank, will he? His skin is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, Emily, your cheesaroo is showing. His skin is so pretty. I placed a hand along his cheek. Skin so beautiful was as smooth as I expected it to be. It felt much like tracing my fingers along spider silk. What kind of prank are you playing? I'm not certain how I'm supposed to feel when a boy's skin is this lovely. I went to pinch his cheeks, conscious to show the same tenderness a mother cat might have carrying her children at the nape. That didn't work. He did stir ever so slightly, as if I'd been tickling him, but he showed no signs of waking. As I stared, scrutinizing every little detail of his features, a considerably less devilish thought came to mind. Hello? Oh yes, take the spectacles off. Take the spectacles off.
I've never actually seen him without his spectacles on, have I? My curiosity will never cease at this rate.
The temptation was too much now that it was in my head. I took the bait splendidly.
If none of what I've done so far has worked, taking off his spectacles won't either.
I edged much closer to him as my fingers slithered up from his cheeks to the rims of his spectacles.
Don't wake up. Please don't wake up.
And yet the second my hands had touched them... Hi. Oops. Lupin's eyelids slowly lifted.
Miss Whiteley. Lupin.
We shared a quiet intimacy. I could feel his breath as he whispered my name. And then...
Ah! What are you doing?
His hands flew to his spectacles to hold them at such a speed that I hadn't the time to blink. My disguise!
I'm terribly sorry. I found myself wondering how you looked without spectacles, so then
Whatever you were thinking, I think my heart's nearly stopped with you this close.
Lupin's face was red as could be. Mine wasn't much different.
And I'm terribly short-sighted, so taking off my spectacles would be quite frightening, if you must know. They're what make me who I am. Without them, I dare say there wouldn't be much left.
I'm certain there would be plenty left, Lupin.
Lupin continued to plead to keep them on. As he did, I had an off feeling, as if he were edging even closer to me.
I hope you'll forgive me. I had no idea they were so important.
Yes, they are. So please don't take them.
He was equal parts serious in his expression and genuine in his words. I nodded.
Never again. Cross my heart and hope to die. But,
is something wrong?
Well, this time you're the one awfully close.
Nah! I didn't mean it!
Lupin! If you move backwards so quickly, you'll...
He fell to the ground with a predictable, prominent smack.
Lupin! Are you hurt?
Ow! I'm all right. A bit late to ask this, I suppose. But did you have some business with me, Miss Whiteley?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I did. I wanted to ask if you'd like to come enjoy a picnic with everyone.
You'd like for me to join? But I was hoping to nap for a bit longer.
But it's not often we have a chance like this. Shouldn't we make the most of it? Or am I perhaps being selfish?
Please don't look at me with those sad eyes. I'll join you, I'll join you. I wasn't against the idea, really.
Truly? Oh, thank you. I'm not sure what I would have done had you honestly refused.
I would never refuse a request from a lady. In fact, thank you very kindly for inviting me.
Okay.
I do apologize, but I must gather everyone else too. Would you mind going ahead and waiting for me there?
I don't mind at all. I have my book to read until then.
Excellent. I'm off. We parted ways and I went on to look for the next person to invite. Alright. Who's next? Hudson. Lovely. I thought it would be best to find Hudson now. Since I'd been with her till not long before, I suspected she couldn't have gone far. My assumption was, thankfully, on the mark. I found her admiring Mr. Mackenzie's tea set. What a sight! I've never seen a plate with a design so beautiful before. You've a real fine eye for tableware, sir. Hudson's eyes were sparkling with adoration. Would she mind if I... called out to her? Hudson's eyes were stuck fast to the tea set on the table. I approached her fully, expecting her to notice me before long, but she continued to be delightfully distracted, and that meant there was only one thing to do. Hudson! No! That did the trick. She jumped in the air with an incredible lurch, and I felt only just a touch guilty over it. Oh my goodness! I hadn't thought it would give you that much of a fright. I'm so ashamed. I'm your assistant. How dare I call myself that when I didn't know you were here? Whoa! Hudson, wait! Oh dear. I don't believe all that is a requirement for a detective's assistant. I felt more than a touch guilty now. I wanted to invite her to join me, but there I was scaring her off instead. I decided it was best to try again later, setting my focus newly on inviting someone else. Oh no. Can I try her again? Alright. What if I watched instead? She seemed delighted as she looked at the tableware, but I noticed her glancing over at my schoolmates every so often as well. Could something have been on her mind? Are you enjoying yourself? You know, if you would like to strike up a conversation with someone, you're more than welcome to do so. That's quite all right. I'm pleased as punch. Promise. Not from where I was standing, she wasn't. She looked lonely. Are you certain? Now feels like the perfect chance to take a walk, actually. Oh, Hudson! I could hardly get her name out before she raced off. I was concerned, but with her so anxious, I couldn't imagine pushing the subject further. I do hope I'll have better luck later. For the time being, the only right thing to do would be to move on and try to invite someone else. Man, I'm really sucking at Miss Hudson. Okay, girl. I just didn't want to have, like, an event CG with you. That's all. Hudson's excitement had always been particularly infectious, and her excitement at the present time was no exception. I found myself eager to join in. You really do love looking at furniture and tableware, don't you? Why, hello again, Emily! Come! Have a look! Pretty tableware and furniture shine like jewels! My smile was easy. How couldn't it be when she was so happy? Listen, Hudson. Seeing as we're here, how would you like to come and have lunch with everyone? Oh, absolutely! I'm your assistant. Joining you is my duty. Let's be going straight away. Okay. I really thought there was going to be a lot more to that. Pardon, Hudson, but I must go and gather everyone else first. Is it all right if you wait there a bit? Shall I come with you? It would be faster than working alone. But wouldn't we all eat faster if someone were there to prepare the spread first? That it would. Don't you worry, leave it all to me. Thank you. She skipped away and I returned to my task of inviting everyone else. Okay, finally got that, girl. Akachi. Akachi was with Kobayashi when I last checked. I surveyed the park and quickly spotted him still leisurely sitting along the grass. As I began to draw closer, however, Kobayashi met eyes with mine and put his finger on his lips. Oh, I need to talk to you too.
Is it all right if he rests some more? It's not every day he relaxes like this, so I'm sure he's built up exhaustion something fierce.
Oh. He'd somehow managed to fall asleep sitting up, his knees hunched chest high. But even tired as he was, he still had his katana propped against his shoulder as if he were well on his guard.
I'd like to go tour the park, so stay with him. If you don't mind, that is.
Without waiting for an answer, up he went and disappeared. Kobayashi, no! Oh! Kobayashi! Oh, well. Since I'm here, I think I admire his katana. I'll watch him, like I was told to do. I peered at Akachi's face. He must be awfully exhausted. I didn't really want to wake him up when he was sleeping so soundly, but I also thought it would be a shame to leave him out of all the fun. Oh? As I was wondering what to do, his eyes opened, with me being the first thing he noticed. Good day, Akachi.
Miss Whiteley?
He did seem surprised, but only briefly.
Do you have some business with me? It's a bit difficult to remain composed when you're staring so keenly. And I can't help but feel that you're unusually close. I beg your pardon. This is quite normal in the West, isn't it? Though your face is concerningly red. Do you have a fever?
Apparently intent on finding an answer, he reached out his hand and felt my cheek. My lord, is he still half asleep? I wanted to invite you to something.
Oh? To what, may I ask?
The question was accompanied by an inquiring expression. You may, of course. How would you like to join everyone for lunch? It's the first time we've had a chance to do so, and I think we ought to make the most of it.
Do I have the right to refuse?
Does that mean you wouldn't like to, then? I hadn't expected his response. He was so blunt in his rejection, I was certain the sadness showed. I'd so been looking forward to eating together.
All right, I'll go. So please, don't look at me with that lonely expression. I've no idea how to react to such a face.
With some discomfort, he stood. You will? Oh, bless you. Still, how are you feeling? Are you not tired?
Not to worry, I've had plenty of rest. And if I were to stay here, I could find myself waking up to those eyes again.
Hmm?
I'd rather something so unsightly not happen a second time.
What was unsightly? Oh, perhaps you meant how you look while sleeping. I never thought such a thing. I found your face quite pretty, if I'm honest.
Pretty is not ordinarily a word one uses to describe a man, I believe. And, that wasn't quite to what I was referring.
Oh?
No, it matters not. Shall we go have lunch now?
I was about to go with Akachi before remembering someone else I had yet to invite. Okay. Ah, but you see, I must go and collect everyone else first. Will you go on ahead?
Very well, I will.
Thank you. I won't be long. We parted ways and I went on to look for the next person to invite. A very rude boy who just disappeared on me. Kobayashi! Kobayashi was lazying around next to Akachi not long ago. I wonder if he's still there. I surveyed the park and quickly spotted him in the exact spot he was before. Suspicious. Right. So if I tweak it like this... What are you doing, Kobayashi? Oh, Emily! I'm tinkering with a little invention of mine. Oh? You must be quite dexterous. Though it was the first time I had seen him this way, I sensed he always smiled when playing with machinery. I like this tune. What if I were to... Aw, I'd like to do that, but... Curious as I was about his inventions, I thought it best to tell him why I had approached him first. Well, I was thinking we could all have lunch together, so I came to invite you. Would you be interested? I wasn't certain why, but his initial response seemed to be bewilderment. But rather quickly, he gave me a great big smile and nodded with fervor. Would I? Course I would! Thanks, Emily! Not at all. We'll be waiting for you then. I'll join the moment I can! Okay. I waved to him with a great big smile of my own before leaving. Oh! I haven't asked Jack to come and join us yet. Oh, everyone agreed to join. I did it! Seeing as he was the last one, I went to invite Jack. He was crouched over a distance away from everyone, arms wrapped around his ankles. I slowly approached him. Oh my goodness. I would love to do this so much. No, I can't. I can't. I decided to call out to him.
Hello, Jack. Are you enjoying yourself? Jack?
What do you want?
Well, we're all about to have lunch together, and I'd love to invite you to come along too.
I'm alright. Besides, I didn't bring no lunch, and I reckon I won't like the noise.
He returned to his previous position as if I had never spoken to him. Should you decide you don't want to be with us, you can surely leave any time, but why not give it a try? And I promise you needn't fret over food. I've brought enough for everyone.
It's no bother.
None whatsoever. Well, come!
Wait, don't pull!
Then, his hand in mine, we hurried to where the rest of our friends were waiting. Yay! Go Emily. The calm before the storm achievement unlocked. As we were the last to arrive and the weather was still beaming, lunch was soon to begin.
All right, please, have your fill.
Oh, hello everyone! Could Holmes and Jack be sitting any more uncomfortably? Alright, tag yourself. Who are you? Trying to decide who I would be. I'm a mixture of Lupin and Jack. Just uncomfortable in general. Tag yourself down below. One by one, I'd taken out the lunch boxes from the basket Pendleton had prepared for me.
There's more than enough, Jack. I'll need you to eat as much as you can stomach.
A typically cold response, but he didn't leave, which I considered enough of a success.
As for you, Marple, here's the maids of honor you were promised. They're in here, so eat as many as you'd like. They look splendid.
Seemingly impressed, she happily helped herself. I'd love it if you would try mine as well. I put my whole heart into making them.
Oh, thank you. It would be my pleasure.
And of course, the two of you are welcome to try whatever catches your eye. How about these?
You know how to make tamagoyaki?
They're very different in shape to the ones we know.
They're called omelets. What's a tamagoyaki?
It's a dish made by beating, then cooking eggs before rolling them into a rectangular shape.
In Japan, eggs are a staple of the rich and wealthy. They are not a food common people partake in every day.
Is that so?
Let's try some, Akachi!
Calm yourself. There's no need to rush. The eggs aren't going to flee the table if you don't eat them this instant.
Thanks, Emily!
I shall try some as well.
Well, what do you think?
Delicious! I love the fluffy texture. First a custard tart and now this?
I agree. The seasoning is just the right strength, I might add. The accompanying sauce complements the dish nicely.
Pendleton's cooking had found itself two more fans.
I'm so pleased you like them. There's a whole other range of things to sample now, so please, sample away.
I would love to, but there's a mountain of food.
It's disrespectful not to eat all you've been offered.
He's eating a sandwich. Jack, meanwhile, had been nibbling his way through a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich.
I'm so glad he's eating with us after all.
Lupin, who was sitting opposite of me, had taken to sighing whilst opening and closing his lunchbox. You good? You aren't going to eat, Lupin?
I will, but you see...
Something wrong? Watson made to peer at what was inside.
Don't do that, Watson!
Hiding it like that is just gonna make us all the more curious what's in there. We're all detectives, remember? I'm relatively certain you're only interested in the food. It doesn't take a detective to deduce that. Of course I'm interested in the food. What is it?
Watson, quick to ignore protests and eager to discover its contents, leaned over to take the lunchbox. What is happening? The face.
What? Lupin, what? You can't be... What is this?
Upon peeking inside, Watson looked as though he were trying to restrain himself from a reaction of some kind.
I've never seen a lunch quite like this, to be certain.
Well, well. This is something.
I have seen nothing. Nothing at all.
Is it really so unique?
Do you see now why I didn't want anyone to look? But you couldn't resist. You're all such ruthless brutes.
Beg your pardon. I couldn't help myself. But who, made this?
My dad.
My? He's a true artist.
Really? You have my sympathies. Quite sincerely. Keep your pecker up now.
This is rather a special sight.
I can't keep it in any longer.
Stop, Watson! I was doing so well!
Watson and Kobayashi were clutching their sides in laughter, and everyone else had presented Lupin with their most supportive peers and pouts. Curiosity piqued, I thought to finally see it for myself.
Aw, that is amazing!
I love this picnic.
Goodness, it's a heart-shaped catchery with your name on it.
Lupin himself was colored red with embarrassment, but I was rather colored impressed.
I wish these days could go on forever.
My quiet whisper disappeared with the wind, heard by and reaching no one.